Trustee LaRocca? Here. Trustee Geezer?
Here.
Trustee Frusaloni?
Here.
Trustee Schwarzy?
Here.
Trustee McCarthy?
Here.
Mayor Severino?
Here. We are honored here tonight to have Webelos Pack 196 is going to present the colors. Please stand.
Color guard attention. All rise. Color guard advance the colors. Color guard Hope, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Two. Color guard post the colors. Color guard regroup. Color guard dismiss.
Their motion to approve the minutes of our December 2nd, 2019 Village Board meeting.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Trustee
McCarthy.
McCarthy and Trustee Geezer. Seconded by Trustee Geezer.
Trustee LaRocca?
Aye.
Trustee Geezer?
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni?
Aye.
Trustee Schwarzy?
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy?
Aye.
We go straight into the participation of the audience. We have one so far request. Mr. Tom Garvey, would you take the podium, please? We'd like to talk about cannabis ordinance.
I just have some questions about it. I was looking at the zoning district and what might be included in the B4 zones, and it looks like there's a possibility, I can't really tell without expanding it, but there is a child care facility, one of the B4 zones over by, it's on Shmali by Goodwill there, where the Dominic used to be. And I want to find out if that really is.
Got it, right?
It can't be within
1,000 feet.
1,000 feet.
And my other question about it is, I understand there's a new redistricting process going on, and I'm interested in what zones might become B4s, so we can see what areas that might be. Is that any input?
Are you talking about like the unincorporated areas that might come into Carroll Stream?
Yeah, like, I understand there's
No,
B3 become,
he's talking about the unit.
Let him
I'm
answer the
sorry.
question, please.
there's B4s that are going to become Bs, which is a new districting, and I'm concerned that there might be some other zones that are going to be becoming B4s.
No, okay.
When you look at the zoning districts now.
I don't believe we've talked about that. Don?
Sure, yeah, I can speak to that. So the 1,000-foot distance separation is right here in the ordinance, it's section K1 of the ordinance. It's on the village board agenda for tonight. And the Unified Development Ordinance project that we're working on does propose some renaming of some zoning districts. There are some properties that are proposed, well, it's not even really proposed yet. It's a little bit ahead still down the line, but next spring, when we get around to that point of the project, there will be very likely some recommendations to change the zoning of some properties. I can give you my business card if you want to give me a call, or I can kind of walk you through the map and show you the areas that we're looking at possibly changing. Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Well, we've run these meetings from the beginning all the way to this is the very last meeting. Anyone else would like to get up and speak? If not, we'll close the audience participation and move on with the agenda. Or motion to establish a consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Moved by trustee Swarzy, seconded by trustee Frusaloni. Clerk call the roll.
Trustee LaRocca?
Aye.
Trustee Giesert?
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni?
Aye.
Trustee Shorzy?
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy?
Aye.
Madam Clerk, would you please read what's on the consent agenda?
Certainly. Under Board and Commission reports, number one, Plan Commission Zoning Board of Appeals, A 19-0009, Outreach Communities Ministries, Jubilee Furniture, 730 East North Avenue, special use for an open sales lot, special use permit for employee training and vocational center, zoning map amendment, rezone from B2 to B3, zoning code text amendments, employment training and vocational center, plat of consolidation, recommend approval with conditions 6-0.
Yes.
Yes.
B, 19-0036, Vequity Holdings, Inc., 431 East Geneva Road, 521 South Schmale Road, and 2201 North Main Street. Special use for a PUD, special use for an auto service station, zoning map amendment for R1 to B3 upon annexation, zoning map amendment from B2 to B3, sign code variation, plat of re-subdivision. Recommend approval with conditions. Under staff reports and recommendations, number one, personnel policy revision, restricted smoking area.
Yes.
Number two, award of a contract for tree trimming services to CSC Tree Services in the amount of $42,375.
Yes.
Yes.
Number three, engineering services agreement for final design and bid assistance, WRC dewatering system replacement project, agreement with Baxter and Women for final design and bid assistance in the amount of $139,000.
Yes.
Yes.
Number four, 2019 pavement patching project, change order number one and final payment to Chicagoland Paving Contractors, Inc. in the amount of $53,512.22.
Yes.
Microsoft Enterprise Agreement, awarding a contract to CDW-G in the amount of $101,884.83, which will be paid in three equal parts of $33,961.61 over a three-year period.
Yes.
Yes.
Under ordinances, we have an ordinance approving amendments to Chapter 16 zoning code of the municipal code of the Village of Carroll Stream to allow adult-use cannabis dispensing organizations in the B4 Office, Research, and Institutional Building District, Section 16-9-5C, adult-use cannabis dispensing organization as a special use in the B4 District, Section 16-13-3, off-street parking and loading, schedule of parking requirements, and Section 16-18-1 definitions.
Off.
2, ordinance approving amendments to Chapter 14, general offenses to the municipal code of the Village of Carroll Stream, adding a new Article 5, adult-use cannabis business establishments to prohibit adult-use cannabis craft grower, adult-use cannabis cultivation center, adult-use cannabis infuser organization or infuser, adult-use cannabis processing organization or processor, an adult-use cannabis transporting organization or transporter from locating within the Village of Carroll Stream.
Off.
Number 3, ordinance approving a zoning map amendment to rezone property from B2 General Retail District to B3 Service District, 730 East North Avenue, Outreach Community Ministries, Inc. / Jubilee Furniture.
Yes.
Yes.
That is ordinance 2019-12-48. Number 4, ordinance amending Chapter 16 of the Municipal Code of the Village of Carroll Stream, zoning code, employment training, and vocational center as a special use in the B3 district.
Yes.
That is ordinance number 2019-12-49. Number 5, ordinance approving a special use permit for an employment training and vocational center and a special use permit for an open sales lot ancillary to a permitted use Outreach Communities Ministries, Inc., Jubilee Furniture, 730 East North Avenue.
Yes.
Yes.
Is ordinance number 2019-12-50. Ordinance amending Chapter 11, Article 2 of the Carroll Stream Code of Ordinances by decreasing the number of Class G liquor licenses from 2 to 1. Aldi Inc., doing business as Aldi Inc., number 25, 125 Stark Drive.
Yes.
Yes.
That's ordinance 2019-12-51. Resolution, we have one, resolution, a plat of consolidation, Outreach Community Ministries, Jubilee Furniture, 730 East North Avenue.
Yes.
That is Resolution 3119. Under new business, number one, raffle license application, American Legion Post 76, for their 2020 annual raffle licenses for weekly raffles held at 570 South Gary Avenue, Carroll Stream, Illinois.
Yes.
Yes.
Number two, raffle license application, Winfield School District 34 PTO, approval of a raffle license and waiver of the fee and manager's fidelity bond for the raffle to be held at the American Legion Hall, Carroll Stream on February 1, 2020.
Yes.
Yes.
Number three, raffle license application, Emerson Elementary School PTA, requests approval of a raffle license and waiver of the fee and manager's fidelity bond for their trivia night on January 11, 2020 at the American Legion Hall.
Yes.
Yes.
Number four, raffle license application, Glenbard North High School Theater Boosters, requesting approval of the raffle license and waiver of the fee and manager's fidelity bond for their performances Almost of Maine, February 13th through the 15th, 2020, and Matilda, April 30th through May 2nd, 2020.
Yes.
Number five, raffle license application, Glen Ellen Masonic Lodge, number 950, requesting approval for a raffle license and waiver of the fee and manager's fidelity bond for their Fellowship Day event to be held at Playoffs Bar and Grill, 720 North Avenue, on January 19, 2020, to benefit their Teddy Bear Fund.
Yes.
Under payment of bills, regular bills, December 3, 2019 through December 16, 2019.
Yes.
Number two, addendum warrants, December 3, 2019 through December 16, 2019.
Yes.
And under report of officers, clerk, 2020 schedule of meetings, it's attached for the board review and approval.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Yeah, we have to approve it.
Yes.
treasurer's report, revenue expenditure statement, and balance sheet month ended November 30, 2019.
Received.
Received.
There a motion to put those items on the consent agenda?
Moved. Second.
Moved by trustee Geezer, seconded by trustee McCarthy. Clerk call the roll.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Giesser.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee Schwarzy.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Motion to approve those items by omnibus vote.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Frusaloni, seconded by trustee LaRocca. Clerk call the roll.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Giesser.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee Schwarzy.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
So we have I-1 off by trustee LaRocca.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I understand everything's approved on this subject. I just have to vote my conscience. I think it's wrong. I think it's a mistake. I think it's a terrible message we're sending to the youth of our village. And I just want to voice my opposition to the whole cannabis thing. I want to make sure that it's understood that I am referring to the recreational cannabis only. I don't have any issues with the medical side. If people need it for whatever reason, then I'm all in favor of that. But for recreational cannabis, I'm saying no.
Thank you, trustee LaRocca. Trustee Geezer, you took off I-2.
Yes, I just had a question for Community Development Director, Tom Bastian. Do we currently allow medical grow facilities, et cetera, within the village of Carroll Stream?
They are a special use in the industrial district.
Any other questions? None? Okay, so I need somebody to make a motion on I-2, or I-1
I-1.
first.
I'll make a motion to approve I-1. I'll second.
Moved by trustee McCarthy, seconded by trustee Swarzy. Clerk call the roll.
Trustee LaRocca.
No.
Trustee Giesser.
Yes.
Trustee Frusaloni.
No.
Trustee Schwarzy.
Yes.
Trustee McCarthy?
Yes.
Is there a motion on I-2?
I'll make that motion. Pardon? Yes.
You want me to vote? Yes. And then I'll explain why I voted yes, because I've been waiting to do that anyway. We have I-2. Trustee
I'll
Gies-
make a motion to accept I-2 as written.
Second.
Moved by trustee Gazer, seconded by trustee McCarthy. Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee LaRocca?
Aye.
Trustee Gieser?
No.
Trustee Frizzaloni?
Aye.
And Trustee McCarthy?
Trustee
Oh, I'm Schwarzy. I got
Aye.
ahead of myself. And Trustee McCarthy?
Aye.
I have to vote?
No.
Okay. So we voted to grow it. Is that right?
No,
No.
What was the second?
to prohibit growing
To
it.
prohibit growing, okay. I was going to say, okay, I missed something there. Okay, good. Good. So we go right in the report, officers? Trustee LaRocca.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The interesting topic on tonight's agenda was the cannabis, which I already know has been approved. I just wanted to voice my opinion, and that's really all I had, other than I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee LaRocca. Trustee Geezer.
Just have a couple things. Just want to mention, today was the last day for nominations for the annual Christmas decorating contest. We had around 30 homes have been nominated. The judges will be going around Carol Stream tomorrow. Check out the Carol Stream social media pages and website for details on who the winners are in the various categories. Also, coming up in early next year, we'll be doing our census. Every 10 years, there's a census in the United States. And Tia, did you have some information to share about that?
So trustee Geezer is right. Census 2020 is on its way with the invitations going out in March. This will be the first census that you can complete it online. You still have the option to complete it by phone or by mail. The census counts people living in Carol Stream, and we need to work together to get a complete count. Population size can affect our political representation on the federal level, grant funding and federal funding for schools, transportation, and more. Each person is worth about $1,535 to our community each year. Please help us get a complete count by sharing census information and completing your census online, by phone, or by mail. The Carol Stream Library will have computers available to help you participate. You can also apply to be a census taker. Census takers are currently making $29.50 an hour in DuPage County. You can apply at the census website or at the Carol Stream Library during their 2 upcoming hiring events. Their first event will be January 13th from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., and the second event will be January 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you'd like to learn more about Census 2020, you can visit our website. Under the Residents tab, you'll see Census 2020. You can also visit census.gov. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tia. And if you're into genealogy, we do genealogy. The census throughout the years have always been really invaluable information, besides providing money to the village per person. And to end my report, I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a prosperous New Year. That's my report.
Thank you, trustee Geezer. Trustee Swarzy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you to the staff for a very interesting 2019, very difficult at times, but you guys worked really hard and it shows, and I can't thank you guys enough for all your hard work. And to the my elected officials up here, the mayor and the trustees and the clerk, you know, the thing, this is my 13th year on the board, and it's been one of the more difficult ones. You know, we don't always agree, and you don't want everyone to agree all the time, but I think we're all up here for the right reasons. We all care about this community, and it shows in the passion and the caring that I know my fellow board members up here show. And thank you for a great year. Looking forward to 2020, and everyone have a happy holiday. And please remember to shop in Carroll Stream. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trustee Suarez. Trustee Fruzzoloni?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Great job to our staff. This definitely has been a roller coaster year, the last couple of months especially. Get some rest, because when we come back in January, it's budget time. John is really looking forward to budget time. He's very excited. I also want to say thank you to our social services department. We had our Christmas sharing event last Thursday, and what an amazing event. Every year, it is just astonishing how all of our village employees come together to help out, whether they're behind the scenes moving all of the packages and the food from the basement here over to Lutheran Church of the Master, helping out the day of, getting the families registered beforehand. It's very heartwarming to see at this time of the year, kids getting Christmas presents and how excited they are about them. I mean, we put together 500 stockings full of candy and toys and, goodies, and to see their faces was amazing. Our numbers were up a little bit this year, but down over previous years. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing that this year we had a couple more families that were in need in Carroll Stream over last year, but historically down over what they've been in the past. So there are many, many families that are still in need, and there's still a lot of organizations I know that are, doing, whether they're doing food drives, we have a coat drive going on till February for the Rotary Club. There's still many organizations that are looking for help, for donations year-round to help families, not only in Carroll Stream, but DuPage County, but just great job to our staff. Our police department was amazing. Public Works, moving all that stuff. The fire department goes around to the schools and picks up all the donations. It really is probably the biggest community effort I've ever seen in all the towns that I've lived in, where every single school is taking donations, which is so cool to see the kids involved, and then to see all the different areas within the village that are involved in helping out. So great job for another successful Christmas sharing. With that, I just want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year. That ends my report.
Thank you, Trustee Fruzzoloni. Trustee McCarthy?
I also want to both thank and congratulate Social Services for another wonderful Christmas sharing. This was the first time in 15 years I missed it. But luckily, beforehand, thanks to Trustee Fruzzoloni and her husband Rob, our clerk Laura Zarnicki and her husband Paul, my wife Linda, Jenny Fox and her son, and also Dawn Peroni. We were able to stuff all the stockings last Sunday right before, so we were able to make sure every kid left Christmas sharing.
2 bags.
That's awesome. And thank everybody who donated, from everybody up here to Colony Park to Chrissy's is still running their yearly fundraiser for it that starts us off for next year. So it's Caputo's. Yeah, we learned that Caputo's ended up donating, I believe, half the cost of the foods that is collected from Caputo's. They covered half of it, which is a huge thing when you're trying to make sure everybody has some food and has some joy around the holidays. So again, thank you to Social Services and every single volunteer involved. Like everybody else has said, staff, you guys have been fantastic this year. I don't think of this year as difficult. I think of it as, it might have been challenging, but this board will disagree sometimes. But the thing is, we disagree with respect, and I wish a lot more people would do that. When you read things online and you see things on TV, it's perfectly fine to disagree. Nobody has to agree all the time. But you can do it with a respect and a friendliness that you can agree to disagree and move on. It's okay. And I hope we work more at that. But it has, all in all, it's been a good year. It's been challenging, but it's been a good year. I want to say a Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and Happy New Year to everybody. And I look forward to a better next year. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Trustee McCarthy. I'm going to try and remember those words, too. The next time somebody says something bad to me, I'm going to try and say something nice back to them. Madam Clerk, would you have a report?
I just wanted to thank trustee McCarthy for always including us in his efforts with Christmas stockings. You did forget your daughter. She was there as well. Wasn't she?
No, she had to work.
She was working.
Okay, well, she was there in spirit. Otherwise, that, I just want to wish everybody all the best in all of their holidays coming up. And, keeping our military in your thoughts and prayers. That's in first respect. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Rhodes, our village attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to wish everyone happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and hopefully a not too challenging New Year.
Yeah. Mr. Muller, our village manager. I know you got some things to talk about.
I have a few things. I just thought I would provide a brief recap of some of the more significant activities that occurred over the past year. I know there's been some challenging issues that the staff and the village board had to address towards the end of this year. And like the board said, they were challenging, but we've had challenges before, and we all came together at the end, and we came through. So just, you know, I guess on some kind of a positive note, we brought the Carrollshire Commons Condominium Association Code Enforcement Initiative to a successful conclusion. It all started many years ago when we had the balcony collapse and the parking lot was in disrepair and the aesthetics to the building were bad, and we had, over 500 code violations? Okay, to be exact. And working with the condominium association, we were able to help them restore the value of the property to threefold what it was before. So it was actually written up in an article in the July issue of Condo Lifestyle magazine titled "The Transformation of Carrollshire Commons," which outlined the village's involvement in the effort to help them comply with the code. And we didn't have to levy any fines. We had some pretty substantial fines against them. The board agreed to waive those in exchange for completing all the code violations. So that was, I would consider, a very good highlight. In May, the police department earned first place from the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police for the 2018 Traffic Safety Challenge in 3 categories, which are distracted driving, which is a big issue throughout Illinois, impaired driving, which is another big issue, and occupant protection. 4 of our officers received the MAD Hero Award at the annual MAD recognition event in Springfield. Our officers were part of a group of 30 officers honored, and which had amassed over 10,000 DUI arrests for their careers. So we had 4 of those officers out of the 30, which was pretty impressive. We also received almost $100,000 in grants from IDOT for expanding our DUI program, which I think most people realize that Carroll Stream has a pretty aggressive enforcement on DUIs. We don't want to see anybody hurt while driving. It's to protect the driver as well as other people on the road. This month, our Public Works Department had earned membership in the American Lung Association B20 Club. Membership recognizes department efforts to adopt and use B20, which is a biodiesel fuel, into the fleet as a way to reduce exhaust emissions and pollution. I think we can all appreciate that as a big semi travels down the road that is burning diesel. That's not biodiesel. The village applied for and received ComEd grants of $26,000 for the $42,000 worth of LED lights that we installed in Carroll Stream. What was that, 300? We also received an energy efficiency grant of almost $24,000 for this building from ComEd for occupancy controls, building automation systems, and LED lighting improvements. The village donated Community Park and the Gary Avenue and Elk Trail properties to the Park District, which resulted in a new park next to Carrollshire and the Elk Trail condos. and will result in future enhancements to Community Park on the south end of the village. We entered into an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Wheaton for the northeast corner of Geneva and Schmale Road, which will require the city of Wheaton to de-annex that corner, and it will be developed in Carroll Stream, and we've agreed to share some of the revenues with them. That corner right now is a real eyesore. It's underutilized. The developer came to us so he can develop the whole site, including another parcel to the north, which the village will get all the revenue or the retail sales tax for that. And then finally, the village granted zoning and building permit approvals for the 186,000 square foot industrial building, which was the former intermediate processing facility on Fullerton. So that's a spec building, which will enhance the value of that property. And that's it for the recap. Just a note, the village board tonight approved the schedule of meetings for 2020. And in the past, on Martin Luther King's birthday, which is normally a board meeting day, we've held the board meeting on the Tuesday after that day. This year, those ceremonies are going to be held in the morning as a breakfast, so we'll be having that meeting on the 20th this year. And this is our last board meeting prior to the end of the year, so the Village Hall will be closed on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, as well as New Year's. Police Department will be open. That's all I have.
Thanks, Bob.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Bob. Bob and I talked earlier, and I asked him if he would recap some of the things that happened in the village this past year. One of the things that I'm very proud of in this board and all of the residents in town, and especially the military, is we finished our Veterans Memorial at our park. And that was a big project that a lot of us put a lot of time and effort into and held a lot of fundraisers to get that done. It started out at $200,000 on Thunderbird. It went to $180,000 if we used the town center, and then it went up to $230,000. I think that was the last number. So we end up raising that money, and it's I don't even want to say it was probably one of the toughest fundraising things I've ever got involved in. $230,000 in this town is really hard to raise. And there's a lot of people that I could thank. But to me, everybody that threw in even change when we had our meetings at our concerts, the kids that would throw $1 in or 50 cents or a quarter, it all adds up to do the same thing. Some people are fortunate enough to be able to put more money in. I really appreciate the businesses that threw in the big money, and I don't want to mention them. They were mentioned, some of them were mentioned that day, but, you know, up to 15,000, 5,000. I mean, there was some big fundraisers that went on, but to raise 230,000 is not easy to do. And to me, that is the heart of our town. The town center is Carroll Stream. We have no downtown, we have no train station. So what you see there is what people think of when they see this town. There's a lot of efforts, a lot of lights on the arch were fixed. I noticed, Phil, you might want to call Mike Drager if we can't do it, but there's a light on the left side, I noticed tonight. If you want to take care of that, otherwise I'll get Mike to do it for me. I mean, I had him do it the last time, but I think we should be taking charge on that. So somebody should look at it. And we also had some other lights there, but the town center is the heart and soul of this town. When Mayor Ferrero decided that we would have a town center rather than a downtown, that was the plan. The plan was to have a place to bring everybody together, and that is what we have. So the better we keep it up with the Park District there with their big, beautiful building and our beautiful facilities that we have there all summer long, that we get to use them, I want to make sure that stays that way. The fountain, that fountain is the second largest fountain, I was told, in the state of Illinois. I don't know how true that is. I've seen waterfalls, but a fountain, I don't know how many other fountains. Somebody said the only one bigger than that's Buckingham Fountain. Now, I don't know how true that is, but that's what they told me. And I can't disagree with them. I kind of like the idea that it would be number 2, to be honest. So, staff, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Chief Schmidt, for filling in. Means a lot to me. Our chief left, and we needed to reach out, and we got a first-class professional to come in. Thank you for being here with us. It's an interim thing, but I really like what I'm seeing you doing, and I really appreciate you being here. I want you to know that. Everyone else, I appreciate all the work that you have done this year. They may think it was easy this year. This wasn't easy for me. I've been up here for 22 years. The last 13 as the mayor. This is the toughest year that I've ever seen. This is worse than the floods. I had people standing at the podium blaming us for the flooding. And, you know, I mean, back in '07 and '08, when we had the 100-year floods back to back, this year, I think, was harder. Proven cannabis, I'm not going to disagree with Trustee LaRocca, because there's no one that hates drugs. I may have found somebody that hates them as much as me. Could be him. I hate drugs. I don't even like taking aspirin. I sat on that board with the other three other mayors and police chiefs and fire chiefs and worked with Amita Hospital and watched what it does, what drugs do to people. It's sad that the state approved it. And what we try to get past is that the towns around us are approving it. We had already talked about it. Any money that we collect, and I really don't even think, after all is said and done, I don't even think anybody's going to want to come here and open up anything here. That's my opinion. I mean, and if they don't, then so be it. But if they do, I would rather have it here than in Winfield, across the street on North Avenue, which everybody thinks is Carroll Stream, or in Hanover Park on Army Trail Road, that they might think is Carroll Stream, because the money will be earmarked for social service items. We're going to take almost every penny of that money, what we get and what we struggle for every year, to go out and try and sell raffle tickets so we could support the troops money, we can give the food banks money. I mean, all the good that we did all summer long, I'd like to see us out there with the crowd instead of begging for dollar tickets to be sold so we can give some money away. And the Meals on Wheels guy, I know it breaks some people's hearts up here, we could only give 5,000 or 10,000. I'd like to give them 25,000 to know that where the money came from. My opinion. There's a lot of good things we could do with that money if we get that money. That money isn't going to be used, and I made it real clear that night that they voted. It ain't going for new trucks, it's not going for new squad cars, it's not going for building facilities, it's not going to the IT department, it's going for things that people in this community need. Now, if we have a real abundance of money, no, I don't plan on giving 200,000 to Meals on Wheels, but I mean, we have to be realistic about what we do. It also could help curtail any future tax increases, which we talked about. People come in and they complain, you should do it because we need the money. We went through all those meetings and we went from up to down, up and down, who wanted it, who didn't want it, who didn't, and the reasons. And we go all the way till tonight. And I'm not really sure, honestly, that the people that talked in the past, the Saturday, the Sunday morning, the Monday morning, the Monday afternoon meeting that we had, I'm not even sure some of them really wanted to hear what the truth was. They came to voice their opinion, which is what we wanted. We wanted everybody to voice their opinion of how they felt. I don't think anybody up here really, I mean, my opinion, I'm not going to speak for everybody because we voted for it, but I mean, I would rather have it, if it's going to happen, I'd rather have it here than in Hanover Park or in Winfield. I would rather have the money to work with here. And I made that real clear that it'll go into John Baytex, our finance guy. There'll be a separate fund if that money ever comes here, that will go in there, and it'll be, and it's not going to be me, and it's not going to be just, it's going to be a combination of all of us as to where that money will go, where we can sit and have a meeting and say, we got 10,000 to work with, or 50,000 to work with. Let's go support the troops instead of 2,000 that we got to beg everybody to buy raffle tickets for. Let's give them $5,000 so the troops could get their packages. Let's give Meals on Wheels $25,000. That's what the money will be used for. That is why I wanted it to begin with, only because of that. And because the governor, you know, and John Zalick's not here tonight, which I'm surprised that he isn't. I mean, he couldn't have made it clear. 58% of the people voted for Pritzker.
area.
He ran on making marijuana legal, both recreational. I mean, it wasn't like he's just gonna say it's only to be used, and I agree. If you got glaucoma and you need to go get marijuana, I get it, I understand it. And some of the people that came, one woman had breast cancer, and she said, I want to be able to buy it here, I don't want to have to go someplace else. We get it. And I think that the people tore this board apart by who wants it, who don't want it. Who do we make happy, who do we don't make happy? We're not here to make anybody happy, we're to make 40,000 people happy, not 100. 100 people is about what we had come in and actually say what they wanted, and some of them were for it and some of them were against it. But there's 40,000 people in this town and 20 million square feet of industrial space. That's what we're responsible for. If I jumped every time somebody says, I don't like that anymore, you shouldn't do that, we stopped doing it, 39,999 people would be upset about it. And that's the way it works. It's unfortunate. After all the years I've been up here, I still struggle with that because I run my own business and I make the decisions and I live with them and I die with them. I make a bad decision and I die with it. I make a good decision and I make money with it. Here I make a decision and 40,000 people could suffer or benefit by it. And that's different than what I'm used to. I'd like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah. I'm taking the next month off, and to be honest with you, I ain't even sure I'm coming back. That's all I'm gonna say. I need a month's rest. Maybe for this board, it wasn't bad. Maybe they enjoyed this. I did not enjoy what I had to go through and watch what some of my board members went through for the last 6 months. We didn't deserve that, what the people did to us. That's my opinion. Anybody that doesn't like it, they can take it up with me anytime they want to. I don't mind voicing your opinion. I think it's important. But some of them did it in a very bad way. And they started to tear this board apart. This board has been together a long time. We work together as a team. The staff works together as a team. That's why we get so much done with so little effort into it. Because we all work together. We save a lot of money by doing that. We went all 60 years without having a property tax, and we got criticized for putting one on. Get rid of your social service department. Are you kidding me? Who just put on and fed all them people? I mean, think about this, what social service and our police department do. I mean, it's easy to say, don't buy new squad cars. We'll have them out there on foot. We'll put them on bicycles. I mean, there's a lot of things sound good. I still can't get over, and I'm still like to know the woman that said, put the $3 license on all the cats and you'll get your $3 million. I mean, I don't know where there's a million cats in this town, but I mean, those are the things that we had to sit here through that were just like, just give me the podium and I'll just talk about something. And to me, that's just the wrong thing to do. Honestly, tonight we got Tom Garvey here. Tom got up and asked questions. It made sense. We had Campbell come in, make sense. We had a lot of people come in and make sense. And then some people, I'm not even sure why they came here. I know Tom Garvey cares about this town. He has for a long time. And that's why he comes and asks questions. But questions make sense. So, I don't know. I'm just in one of them. We're all sick at this side. We've all got colds and flu and whatever, and up to here with the kidney. Mary's the only healthy one up right. Mary's not even healthy, and John's
You're as
sick,
close
he's
as it
not
gets.
here.
Mary's got a very.
So with that,
Mr. Mayor,
yes.
before may I say one more thing? Sure. Well, actually, two more things. I didn't want to take any thunder away from trustee Schwarzy, and I wanted to carry on and piggyback onto his last message that he always says at every board meeting. He always says shop Carol Stream, and I just wanted to add to it. There is still one Aldi's in Carol Stream. Shop that Aldi's.
I had that on my list.
with that.
And I left my list in my home.
I
But thank you for saying that, because that will make a big difference too. Keep that money in Carol Stream. Not that I don't want, I mean, I'll occasionally go to Costco because I can't get what I need to buy here. If I need clothes, I can't get them here, so, or a TV set. But I mean,
The other thing I
We have
thought,
that Aldi store that's there, that's remodeled. If you want to shop, please do. That's a good, thank you, John.
and the other thing I just wanted to add was, I thought it was a great thing that trustee Zalik crunched those numbers and found out the people voted for Pritzker, and he ran on that platform. The one thing I wanted to add to that is that in DuPage County, we had 14.7% of registered voters voted. My message is clearly, don't let 14.7% of registered voters speak for you. It's the reason we have the elected officials in Springfield is because we have low voter turnout, and those are the people that only go out and vote. Take the time, do your homework. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but go out and vote for you who think it will do the best job in Springfield. That's all.
Thank you, trustee Laura. Anybody else? You know, I am. I just like to give everybody a chance to talk. Okay, well, with that, motion to adjourn
To executive session.
to executive session.
Section 2C2 of the Open Meetings Act.
No action will be taken, so
No action will be taken, so the
we will.
motion will be to go into executive session for that purpose and then to adjourn from executive session.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.